there is a portion of Goodluck Jonathan's speech there, which, well, is very interesting, though. Talking about the scar that the Boko Haram and the Chibok girls kidnappers left on him as a person and a former leader. Well, let me first and foremost get my guest on the program. He's back in the spotlight. Oshiomhole, the fiery former Labour leader turned senator and governor, joins us for an exclusive, well, on one hand, Independence Day conversation, also on Boko Haram to the Dangote refinery labor war, from Atiku's attack on Tinubu to the race for 2027. Oshiomhole tonight will be weighing in on the big issues shaping Nigeria's future. Let me get my guests to weigh in on these topics. Senator Adams Oshiomhole, federal lawmaker representing Edo North in the National Assembly, former Edo State governor. Thanks so much indeed for your time tonight on the program.
Thank you, Chief, for having me back.
Yeah,
and the happy anniversary again.
65 years. This is 5 days into the anniversary, but then it's never too late to say happy independence. But let me take you to the very first soundbite and the very first issue I raised, which has to do with what Atiku Abubakar is saying. Why does it look like it is difficult for leaders to empathize, to visit, when some of these issues are hard and people are mourning? And in the same plateau he said that it doesn't look like President Tinubu has the feelings of Nigerians or the Nigerians at heart. He'd rather go there to marry than to empathize with them.
Well, I think you should. I have sympathy for former Vice President Atiku for thinking that even in matters of death and honoring or paying respect to the dead, that all these issues have to be politicized. I think as an elder statesman, even at his age, he should know a lot better. Nobody can accuse President Tinubu of being insensitive merely by reason of the fact that he went to pay his respect to the mother, last respect to the mother of APC chairman. He has attended other fora. So if a president goes to pay condolence visit and all of that with ordinary Nigerian, what is the issue? How does that? Is it either you do this or you don't do this? And this was even a weekend. You know, I have had this privilege of being more or less the one-man opposition when Atiku was vice president. And they forget in a hurry some of the things they did when he was vice president, under President Obasanjo. You know, and talking about this debt, which is a continuation of the Boko Haram that developed while Atiku Abubakar was vice president and Obasanjo was president. So it's a question of picking and choosing. And for them, rather than deal with the substantial issues of alternative policy choices for Nigerians to decide, they seek to trivialize politics by going to ridiculous argument about empathy and no lack of empathy. How does the fact that the president attend a church service of a departed mother of a Nigerian become evidence that he has no empathy for people who are killed? I have sympathy for Atiku for this, because he has allowed himself to be consumed, you know, by politics. Everything he's seeing in the eyes of partisan. I think it should be more than that. I should find space for some statesmanship.
But don't you
or even beside
but don't you think that there is some kind of sense, if you look at it carefully, what Atiku Abubakar is making? When the president went to Benue State, he said that the president couldn't even go to Yawata, where the attack happened. The president only stopped in Makurdi. He said that the president couldn't even visit Plateau State when people were killed. And that is only when the death affects a member of his party, that's when the president feels the empathy. And there are those who will be asking the question, as a leader, maybe there's a need to get on the ground as a show of empathy to those who are mourning, especially when attacks are coming on innocent Nigerians.
So don't let us waste too much time on this idle distraction. President went to Benue. He acknowledged. He went to Benue to celebrate Christmas. He went to Benue to celebrate birthday. It is customary to go to any state and commiserate with the governor that represent the collective spirit of the people of that state. So he has to go to the particular location, or in this case of the mother of APC governor, did he went to the village where the woman was born, or where the woman is going to be buried? So, but this should not be a matter for national discourse.
In terms of governance priorities, wait. Governance
priorities, please.
When people's lives are when people's lives are involved.
Can you allow me to finish? If you say that he didn't even care, But you say he went to Benue and so on. How many times did Atiku visit Maiduguri? You remember the killing of, I forgot his name now. This guy who was even at one time, I'm told, was a commissioner in one of the government in Maiduguri. How many times did he go there? I remember, as governor of Edo State, we in ACA decided to go to Maiduguri because no PDP leader, president, minister was ready to go there. So these people shouldn't talk as if they don't have history. So let's discuss what, for me, makes sense to the average Nigerian. I don't think Nigerians it's about why should president pay a condolence visit. Has that stopped him on a Saturday from doing or attending to other state matters?
Let me take you away.
I do not think it's about misplacement of priorities. No. I don't think so.
But what if some Nigerians feel otherwise?
Excuse me, in a country of over 200 million people, I will be shocked if everybody feels the same way. And don't suggest that Atiku's views represent the views of Nigerians. I'm a Nigerian. I don't hold those views.
But what do you think?
And I read extensively. I haven't seen very ordinary people. I haven't seen very ordinary people, whether in Plateau or in Benue, expressing these sentiments. I wish you were quoting someone who has a level of representation, not a man who has been serially defeated in presidential elections and who think that it's better right to be.
It still looks like some of you in APC are still worried and afraid of Atiku Abubakar. It's a major political factor.
How can you be worried over a rabbit that you have chased out of his hole 1,000,000 times? How?
It was one
He's a rabbit that was in a PDP hole. He faced some smoke within the PDP. He left. He was accommodated in APC. He failed. He went back to PDP. He failed. How can you be afraid of a serial failure? How?
I mean, because the feeling.
I watched the other news about a star who has accomplished. What is a frustrated vice president? I'm sorry that I have to use this word. Because how do you describe a vice president who was a city president, went out of his party, the camp, and this man had to go to Supreme Court, whether a vice president who was the camp can retain the seat, because the same court tells us that it's one ticket. So, his own addition to legal jurisprudence, I'm not a lawyer. So, I plead with you, bring issues of people who can be said not to be, if their views are not influenced by political frustration or unsustainable political ambition.
The feeling, and you're not the only APC member that I speak to or a leader in the APC that feels some kind of vehemence in their voice when Atiku's matter comes up. Especially when there are those who feel that if there is a pairing of an Atiku and a Peter Obi, your government of APC and your party is in trouble, and a return might evidently be a mirage.
But this is your problem. You are one of these most seasoned TV hosts. How can you so easily forget your recent history? I can play back your comments when you are talking as if something new. Did Atiku not run with Obi before? And contested against APC? Were they not defeated?
It's a different scenario.
I don't know about what is difference. But you are suggesting wait.
Over 6 million votes of Obi.
Throw any number you want to throw. But the point is that when these two ran together, they were roundly defeated by APC. So why are you suggesting if the two now, what they did before, what happened? So you are the one who is recycling history. They have a history of being defeated together, and they have a history of being defeated apart. They ran together, they were defeated. They ran separately, they were defeated. So if they come back together, very good. They will still be defeated.
The scenarios are different.
Just remember,
you see, 2015, just
you also have to be careful not to contradict yourself.
No. There are trends in political dynamics, sir. In 2015, the vote of your candidate was different from 2019. He got a lesser full vote in 2019. It's still the same candidate. It's still Muhammad Buhari.
That is not correct. Now I got you. I got you here.
He got a lesser vote.
I
can put that figure for you.
Buhari had 3 million more votes. Because I was the chairman by 2019. Check the figures. Okay. Buhari had 3 million more votes than his runner-up.
The question I'm asking,
so that's not correct,
is that your party got a lesser vote.
But wait,
just a moment, sir. 2023, your party had lesser vote.
Okay, can I answer it differently?
Okay, go ahead.
If your argument is based on the fact that situations are dynamic, that dynamism is restricted to opposition, is not also valid for the government of the day.
But look at what
the forces. Excuse me.
Look at what your party got in 2023.
Wait. I have had many things. By 2019, how many governors did APC had? By 2023, how many governors did we have? How many governors did we have in ACN? I was the only non-PDP governor in the South by 2012 to 2016 when I left office. What is it today? So that dynamism don't suggest as if it favors one thing. Atiku is now more battle wearied. When you don't forget, my background is textile and garment. When a fabric is weak and you keep sewing it and sewing it, at a point it makes sense to throw it away.
How does that
this man you are worrying about that you are wasting precious airtime, it's not electable. People with 2 addresses, after election you go to Dubai, at the eve of election you call to find out who is paying visit to a bereaved family. You are trivialized.
But there's one person that you also respect his voice.
Who?
Interestingly, you belong to an unofficial association, and that's Nasir El-Rufai. That man has warned you and your party and said, look,
you want me?
I'm talking about APC, and he said, look, your party
is APC.
Well, he has left. He's in ADC now.
I see.
Nasir El-Rufai. Yeah, he has left. Former governor of Kaduna.
Okay.
Your very good friend.
Very good friend, yes.
He's left. And he says that in 2027, that APC and Bola Tinubu should start packing their things out of the presidential and they will send the president back to Lagos.
It's okay. It's okay. So that would be nice. So the president doesn't need to pay for any airfare to go to Lagos. You put him on his back. But you also have to put play back what El-Rufai had said about Atiku Abubakar. This is a prophet, whatever he had prophesied for Atiku Abubakar, and what he has said of PDP and all the other political parties. What he has said about all manners, so leave that one.
Let me take you to the issue.
Now, I need to remind you that we didn't win Kaduna in other areas. We didn't win Kaduna.
As well as you lost Lagos.
We didn't win Kaduna, yeah. So, and yet, we won. Yes, we won.
This time around, what gives you the assurance that there is a possibility that APC has a chance?
You know, people like us, first I live in Kaduna, I'm a Kaduna guy. If I let me say I'm a Kaduna boy, and very soon I'm going to Kaduna to attend one function. As a Kaduna boy, it's easy to hear from the street that the major issue that has bogged down Kaduna development for a long time, namely the semi division which politicians have exploited between Southern Kaduna and Northern Kaduna, the new governor has woven them together. He has shown that a Muslim can associate with Christians by leading by example, right? And Christians have shown that have also shown that they can be at peace with Christians by the sort of thing they do now in Kaduna. Kaduna has returned to peace. Those religious bigots, they are retreating, and they are also beginning to enjoy the benefit of a increasingly unified state. I watched from Channel how many people were being killed in Kaduna. From you were hosting people to explain how as Kaduna, the capital of former northern Nigeria, a peaceful city, we used to call it a no mala where there's no emir, no oba, no nothing. Christian, most everybody, it suddenly became what it became, even when my dear friend was there. But the good narrative now is that place is peaceful.
But so
happy doesn't mean there is no spikes from time to time.
Because you are one of those who with a lot of energy speak about your party on the podium during the campaign. But I'm wondering what you will be telling Nigerians this time around. Because based on what your party promised,
let me tell you
what they are facing right now, the renewed hope that you
what are they facing right now?
Are they saying it?
Okay, yes, they are.
In
you
what
need
way?
to change your lesson. You know, I found that the last time I went to see my doctor, he told me that my eyes are repaired. I don't need to wear the same specification. So the last time I was here, just before last December, you told me about Nigerians are suffering price of things. You, Shehu, play back. You accuse the correct government of which I am a part because I am in the National Assembly and I'm a PC man, that price of rice is now above minimum wage. You said so. Today, price of rice, a minimum wage can almost buy, in Imo State, 2 bags. From over 105,000, and I bought, now I can buy it for 50,000. If you are not seeing that, change the lenses.
I've actually reported.
Number 2.
I've actually reported.
No, number 2.
And I have the details there.
Yeah. It bears repeating. Until Tinubu at Juma office, many Nigerian children who are talented, because of the economic circumstances of their parents, they have admission to university, they couldn't go. Or if they went, they drop out. Because Tinubu has reinvented, it's not really a venture because all over the world, this is the way society balance, you know, the gap between the rich and the poor by introducing a facility called student loan. which is accessible by all manners of students across the length and breadth of Nigeria. You are not seeing that? Now, in my part of the state, I could not travel from Benin to my village. Sometimes it takes 8 hours because the roads are impassable. I was watching sometimes on your television how trailers fell and people are swimming on the pool. Those roads are being fixed. If you are not seeing that, change your lenses. I could go on and on and on. If you had told me you want to discuss what has changed, renewed hope, I would have mentioned this.
Because
number 3, let me
insignia of Bola Tinubu.
Oh yes.
So because that may
not. I have been there.
Yeah. So
with him from AC to ACN to APC, and to be. In fact, I copied Lagos when I was governor, and I never hid it. I said I copied shamelessly without even acknowledging. Because when I see what works, I copy.
So the reason I'm saying that is that I wonder what you'll be wearing if Nigerians reject your party. And that's why it is not me to be convinced, it's the Nigerian people that you and your party need to convince. You are
not okay as if the dress we wear is like the color of a he-goat or a sheep that you cannot change. When I was removed as national chairman, did you see me crying? Did you see me change my uniform? Did you see me lose faith in APC? Did you see me organizing press conference to denounce APC? People must have a broader mind. That is who I am.
Your party loses.
I am not an I am not an opportunity supporter. Once you submit to a contest, there's a place I made a statement. People try to twist it. Now we speak slowly. Any one of us who is in politics, in a truly democratic setting, one of the things you must be ready to live with is either to celebrate the joy of victory, but also the disappointment arising from defeat. And on this, Atiku can write a lecture. And I know Atiku can write 1 or 2 pages too. He has suffered 2 defeats. So, I say if we lose the fire, I will wear it. The first time I wore Babariga was Asiwaju Ashiden was, we call him our leader. Was in Lagos when now the first lady said, Comrade Shokaki will not work here. We are doing Mr. President, but then he wasn't president. And I wore each time I see the Babariga, it just reminded me. So I am not an opportunistic, I will wear this cap. Yeah. But I know we wear it in victory. You know why? Because if you understand the forces that were deliberately deployed to make APC unelectable, bastardize the economy, change currencies, confiscated the property of Nigerians, mostly the poor who don't even have bank account. We have 774 local governments. About half of those local governments don't have banks. And yet we were told if you don't have money in the bank, you'll be confiscated. And I can play back what I said then with the former president in office. That with Tinubu, that money will become valid. Today it's valid. So that money is still in circulation.
So you're Baptist. So we unapologetically.
Number 4, let me tell you what big thing that I achieved that you must not downplay. We were in a country where if you knew the CBA governor or he chooses to smile at you, you can become a Naira trillionaire or a dollar millionaire. For President Tinubu to come in and say no dual exchange anymore, where you buy the money from CBA, you recycle to Aboki in the evening and you become real rich. The courage to do that without saying, you know what, let me first benefit for a month or 2 or for 1 year, then I will change it. From day one, he got rid of it. Even this subsidy people talk about, if you know how much money people appropriated in the name of subsidy, you don't forget I was one of those who fought against subsidy consistently. But at a point, when I ran the numbers, I realized that people were now stealing in the name of subsidy. President Kura also decided to continue with that tradition. You know, make some money from the process and then, okay, tomorrow we stop it. So how can you not see this? If you are not seeing this, change up. If you already have 4, change another one.
Give me a moment, Senator. Well, we have a snapshot, of course, which we have reported. The good that we want is things will get better for the Nigerian people. Let me quickly show you what it looked like about before the president got into office, and also what it looked like when he got in, before he got into office, when he got into office, and now. And you can see the improvement on some food items And like rice, for example, it had 5,000 before he got into office. A year ago, it was 96,000, but it's come to 70,000. That's 50 kg in some part of the country. Beans, for example, this was the price that it was, 30,000. It went as high as 137,000 about a year ago. A year later, the price has dropped. Palm oil, I don't know what is happening with palm oil. 25 liters, the price seems to be going up instead of going down. Flour, the same thing. There hasn't been a significant change in the pricing compared to when things went really wild the last year. Cement, crates of eggs, and these are the situation of things which we are monitoring and reporting to Nigerians. But we need to take a break, everyone. Up next, is the APC losing grip or simply weathering the storm? Of course, in the 65 years after independence, what kind of nation are we becoming? Senator Adams Oshiomhole, the former governor of Edo State, is still with us on the program. We'll be right back in the conversation. Back, everyone. Let's get back to the conversation with the former governor of Edo State and former NLC leader and sitting senator representing Edo North Senatorial District in the Senate, Senator Adams Oshiomhole is still with us.
Forget I was former national chairman of the governing party, and I led my party to victory.
Okay, yeah.
2019.
Well, yeah, that I
don't remove any of the card because none of them is this.
And that you are a Baptist too.
Pardon?
You're a Baptist.
Baptist?
Baptist. Bola Ahmed Tinubuist. So those people who follow Bola Tinubu, they are called Baptists.
Fully Batified.
You are Batified. Interesting. Let me take you to the issue of security. Right.
Yes.
When you saw the account of the former presidents, former President Goodluck Jonathan said the scar of those Chibok girls will never leave him. And you saw what former President Olusegun Obasanjo also said. And some of the accounts, in fact, Buhari's aide has come to say, no, you are wrong. Buhari was not in any way linked to Boko Haram. But some of the lesson is what I like to get your views on. Over the years, fighting Boko Haram, and you hear some of these leaders speak about it. What do you think that we need to take out of it to really end this scourge?
No, if I notice exactly the issues, I would have about my mind to it. But my first reaction was scars from Boko Haram. No, even the title for me is a problem. You know why? You talk of scars from a battle that has ended. But the fight is still
has it ended?
I said,
okay, it would have been for a battle that has ended.
If a battle has ended, if you fought or you are fighting and the fight ended, you were fitted wounded and then they heal, you have scar. But not when the fight is still raging. I think it's too early to talk about scars. Because as we speak, we are still battling it. Not only that, other various forms of security we are dealing with. But as for some of the statement made, what the only thing I don't understand is that why these former chief of state, former commanders in chief, which presidents represent, why, it's only now I realize that they had meetings with Boko Haram leaders, according to President Obasanjo, that their demise were basically not religious as such, not political as such. It was basically about hunger. So really, I thought this is something he should have shared with his party. At that time, he was still the loyal party man, and Boko Haram, he will be remembered, no matter how you twist history, that Boko Haram developed under Obasanjo's leadership.
Under Yar'Adua, actually.
No, under Obasanjo.
It was under Yar'Adua.
No, it depends on the scale you are talking about. When it started. Is that on a modern scale?
The death
I
of
forgot
Yusuf.
the name of this guy. Is it Yusuf?
Yeah, Muhammad Yusuf.
Yeah.
The death of under Alimadu Sharif when he was governor.
Okay.
It was at the twilight of
At that
Alimadu
time,
Sharif.
Alimadu Sharif was governor in NPP. Obasanjo was president in Abuja. Yeah, that is the truth.
Boko Haram's record is about 2009.
Obasanjo was president. President Obasanjo was there when Boko Haram started. That is the truth.
From the record and the timeline, that those who said
when you start keeping
2009 was actually the mark in which you can mark in the Boko Haram emergence.
We are talking about when a particular incident occurred, when there was a breakout. And then they were talking about somebody who was once a commissioner and stuff like that. But my own point is this. If leaders, is a former commanders, a chief of the armed forces, have had opportunity to interact with Boko Haram leaders, why are we searching for them? Which means they know them. What did they do with the information? Did they needed to wait for, in my opinion, for a book to be published by a former chief of defense staff? Unfortunately, I've not read the book. I don't know what his own account is because his mandate as Chief of Defense Staff was to terminate Boko Haram. And a lot of resources have been provided for that. I also listened to President Jonathan when he said that he found that the Boko Haram people were better armed than the Nigerian army. I'm like, really? What should have been the policy response to that? If as a president I found that the enemy is better armed, am I forbidden from acquiring even more sophisticated weapons for the Nigerian armed forces to deal with the ragtag army? My own philosophy is that the leaders should join in lamentation, because those who are hit look up to leaders for solution. When leaders then take turn to lament, I don't know what they want the followers to do. I think as former commanders-in-chief, they've got to be very careful about what they say. Now, you say that Buhari was asked to negotiate, to represent. No, I didn't think it is. Although again, he said that is not what he meant. But again, it's a go-go word, and it's very, very difficult to take back what you have said it. But for me, leaders should know, because I was watching and I tried to interpret President Obasanjo's conclusion. It's about hunger. And that 2011, I was like, who was in office? Who was the president of Nigeria in 2011? Which party? I think that was President Obasanjo's party, the PDP. And hunger was the reason. And I was like, okay, so this hunger is restricted to that part of the country. There is no hunger in Abeokuta. There is no hunger in Edo. There is no hunger in Kano. There is no hunger in Bauchi. If hunger is it, what is the peculiarity of that hunger that the thing started in that area and persisted in that area? Well, but if he said that is what he was told, my own concern is that so our leaders know these people, the leaders of these people, and they even engage them in conversation, and then we are looking for them. So I don't know the detail. I wish I'm able to read the book so I can see.
I'm particularly worried, and the narrative about the seeming lethargy when the Chibok girls were kidnapped, and how politics played a role. Those who have said that if politics had not played a role and the lethargy had not stepped in, perhaps the regret that we're having today, some of the manner in which things were handled. In fact, your party at the time was accused of using that scenario against the government of the day to get them out of power. Does it bother you in the manner in which politics is often used in the case of insecurity in this country?
I think I'm also bothered about the way the press easily buy to it without scrutinizing. Because my understanding is that your business is not only to convey. You are not just a conveyor belt. You have to evaluate, educate, inform, and even correct mischiefs. If you hold the view that the Chibok girl was a farce, that nobody was abducted, then it was a political thing. But I think it is well established now that it was a fact. But it took, unfortunately, and I sympathize with President Jonathan when he said it's a scar. It really is. Because it took PDP government under Jonathan 2 weeks to acknowledge. I think at the point, the first lady has to take it upon herself to invite the principal to say, really, what happened in your school? If people trivialize later. But I saw a woman that was really concerned. Did this really happen? And I can tell you for free, I was privileged to be in the delegation of President Muhammadu Buhari to the White House under President Obama. And one of the things Obama said to us then was that incident, not the fact that 200 children were kidnapped from school, that was, according to him, like a bullet to the heart of the international community. But even more painful was that, to use his word, Abuja seems to be unaware that this happened. And there was a level of denial that nothing went wrong, it's just political talk. But everybody knows that this was a fact. And so Washington came to the conclusion that there was no authority in Nigeria to talk to. And so they just felt there was no governance in Nigeria. This was Obama's word. And the current vice president was in that delegation. He can confirm what I've just said. And President Tinubu and Obama then went on to say, now, with you, President Tinubu, check that you are a man of integrity and medical ready to now do business with Nigeria, etc. But the point is that, don't say it was a political. If people were actually kidnapped, should we not speak to it? And at that time, this thing has not gotten to this point. So I don't think it's all about politics. Some of the people have been released. Some were, I think, probably, I'm not sure of the timing now, whether released whether Jonathan or whether Buhari and so on. But one after the other, one is released today, two are released tomorrow, and so on and so forth. But the point is that I believe, having been a governor, no leader would be happy to have a situation in which any of his citizens is forcefully taken away or kidnapped or dehumanized in any way. No, it cannot be something that any
Oshiomhole,
leader,
I'm due for another break. But when we come back, we'll be having our concluding moments with Governor Oshiomhole. We'll be right back, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone. Let me allow my guest 60 seconds of his commentary and we close. There are those who say, if Goodluck Jonathan gets into the race, your party is in trouble.
Well, people like to talk about party being in trouble, but let me comment on one thing. I think the statement by Shehu Garba, it has some merit. President Buhari is no more. It wasn't fair for the statement that Jonathan made. I mean, I have a lot of respect for him. Now, how can Jonathan be a threat? We defeated him before when PDP was truly PDP.
But he's having a swelling support now. He's having a lot of swelling support.
Let's defy the word of support. Everybody has support. You don't have support. All it takes for me to do 3 face cap for you and get 1 or 2 people to speak. If a man had a PDP at his best, at his peak, and he was defeated, I think only his enemy will push him to go into the race. There are other issues that may not be helpful to him. I think he has managed to demonstrate that out of power, you can be relevant and be at peace. If I were able to advise him, I will say, sir, maintain this status. You govern for 8 years. You don't have to govern for 9 years. Right? Out of 250 million Nigerians. And looking at how he ascended to that office. If I were him, I would spend the rest of my life trying to find relevance, which he has already found, and speaking, because that conceded defeat. And that is memorable quote about the blood of Nigeria is not what's also. He should just allow those legacy to triumph.
We're totally out of time.
But we will defeat him if he comes out. Flatly. Very flatly.
Senator Adams.
Because now the South are no longer PDP. So where is he going to start from?
Senator Adams Oshiomhole, thanks so much for your time.